Hello guys, welcome again. Today I'm here with one different topic. That's topic related to C#, and in day-to-day life of the programmers, they need to access the remote data through some API or some URL. So in .NET framework, we do have a class HttpClient, and that HttpClient can be used to hit that API endpoint and get a response back from there. So in today's example, I will take one small API from w3schools.com, and that will be the list of the customers, and I will take the response from that API point and I will serialize them, and I will again deserialize, and I will create some models, and somehow I'll just try to display the list of the customers in strongly typed formats. So basically we will create a model for that particular data, and we will create the IEnumerator for that particular model, and in that model we will deserialize the string response that we get from that endpoint. So for that, first of all, I'm just taking the help of linkpad 6. This linkpad 6 here, I'll create one C# program. So basically this is the main function. So if you are new to linkpad 6, and if you want to list some of the outputs, then you have a method called a dump, so which I'll show you an example just now. So in this main function, first of all, what I'll do is I do have one URL here, HTTP. I'll take the use of this URL. So if I hit this URL in the browser, then what I'll get, so I'll get this as a response. See, that's a JSON string, right? So this URL I'll be using, so that's the endpoint that I will take use of. So what I'll do now is, first of all, let's put this endpoint in any string variable. So suppose you can say like that's the string URL. Then after, what you can do is you can create one try catch block, and in this try catch block you can create one response string, and this response string is the string representation of that response. So what we'll do is client dot get string async, and here we do have a URL. So basically in this situation here, this will be the client, and this client is nothing rather than I will create one variable here outside, so that is the HTTP instance. So this can be static read only HTTP client. I'll give a name client, and this will be the new HTTP okay. So basically here, if you see here, then you can say like okay, using .NET.HTTP, that's fine. So now you'll use this instance of this HTTP to access this particular URL, and if you see this get string async URL, then it returns the like the task with string. So what we can do here is we can add await, and since there is the awaitable method calls in the main function, here we can make this main function as an async. Okay, so here you can do something like ex dot message dot dump. So this dump is basically, this will show the output in some like specific UI for this link pad. It's just like console dot write line. So and here I will catch the exception. So request exception, and that's an exception EX. So anyway, so we are more concerned about the try block. So now this method will give you the string representation of the response. Now that response needs to be serialized or deserialized, so that we do have some models, right? Suppose if you see this example, then it has a records, and if you see the structure of one record here, then this is one model, and in that model, in all the data you can find the name, city and the country as a property. So we can imagine a model with three properties: name, city and country. So let's create that. So what you can do now, here outside the main, you can create public class. You can create a detail. So there you will have name as a property. So this is get and set. So copy this, paste and paste. So the second will be the city, and the third will be the country. So again, if you see this one, then this model, the list of model is in another property, records. So you can again think of one model that has a property records. So and that property record will have the enumerable of this properties. So we'll see that one. So we will create another class here, public class. I can say record. So public enumerable of detail. So the class that's we created, so I will give it the name. So basically I should give the name as a caps one, because I will stick to small r, because that's what I do have coming from API. So this is not my API, so that's the reason I need to stick with this. So that will be the records, and this will be again the get set. Okay, so now you have two models. One is the detail and another is a record. So this detail is the individual detail, whereas the record is the list of the individual details. Now what I will do now is I'll create another response object. So what I'm going to do now is, basically this is the string representation of the response, and now that response will be now converted into the list of objects. For example, we do have JSON convert for that. So basically this JSON convert is the part of Newton JSON, right? JSON. So that is the, so if I'll check if that's there already available with my package manager or not. So basically I do have that one, and I do have the list of namespace imports as well. So this one, so just make sure these stuffs are there. So if you just do this one in the Visual Studio, then that just works straight away. Just add the package from the package manager. So basically here I have added them JSON convert, and I will just Newton, okay, and I'll just deserialize the object. So basically I will deserialize the object, and I need to specify on which object you want to deserialize. I mean, when you deserialize, then what is the what is the type of the object that you want. So I would like to make this object as a record, as my record, and this takes basically basically one argument. That's the string response. So response is string. So if you want to customize any JSON serialization settings, for example, like how you want to deal with the dates and all stuffs, if you want to specify, then we can do is JSON you can just create the instance of this and just put whatever object you like. So converters, like so all the options, whatever options you need, you can specify, but I'll just try to ignore this one for now. So all I'll do is just leave it as a blank space. So save one. So now if you execute this bit here, if you run this, then okay, it's not running. Why? Because it's not attached to the database. Okay, if I try to run this again, then it's not running because I think this is async and it's returning void. So I just need to make this as a task. So now if I just put here a breakpoint and on it, yeah, then it's running, right? So this will make a request to this URL, and this will get the response in the string format, and that string response, it's converted into the record and it's kept as a response object. So the basically the value of this response object will be the the record, and if you see this record, click dump, then all you have is the list of records that you can see, like altogether 15 items. Okay, but we are not done yet. What we're gonna do now is we will try to filter those records. We'll try to dump, because we at the moment we see so many things here, right? So all we need to see is the records. So let's walk through that. So I'll just stop this one now. Okay, so the next step is, so I'll just extract the record part. So where records equals to, what you have is in response object, you do have the property called records. So all I'm extracting is just the records. So where filter records equals to records. I mean, this is just the temporary property. You don't need this actually, but just for simplicity, I'm just creating. You can use the records only dot dump. So dump is just like console.out, console.write. So now if I run this application now, okay, so then this will just have the list of records. If you see here, then this is just the list of records that we have, the details. Okay, so basically run this one, and what you'll see is in this free filter records, you will see the name, city, and the country. Okay, because these filter records will give the record, and the record is the enumerable of details. That's what we have here. Okay, so basically that's how we normally use the HTTP client instance to hit any provided endpoint. So at the moment I have used this one, and that's pretty free, and that's the part of Double3 schools, so you can use it as well. Okay, so I will just make some tweaks for now. It's not a tweaks, but some more stuffs. So as we know, this records is like all the list, right? So what if I need just top 5 records and something? So we do have some like lambda expressions and something, so we can use that. So take maybe like just take 4. So this will just give you, if you run this one, then this will give you the top 4 records. If you see here, like top maybe 5 records. Okay, so if you want to list only the companies from Germany, then what you can do is dot where this in such a way this dot country equals to Germany. So if you run this one, then you'll see only the records that you have from Germany. So basically you can filter the records and many more. So that's the different part, but the main part that I would like to focus is we do have the HTTP client instance here, and this client instance returns the awaitable tasks, and by using this client instance, by calling the get string async, we can call that endpoint and get a response, and we can walk through with that response and all. So we do have some more other functions like see the base address, and the delete async. So these all are the already available methods. Post async, so patch async, put send, like all the required methods are already there built inside this HTTP client. So that's why it is very, very useful for like for hitting the endpoints and getting a data from there. So yeah, that's all I would like to show. Yeah, have a good day, guys. See you. Thanks.